Hey everybody, Audrey here, the Fit, Fearless, and Faithful Mom. Thanks so much for coming back and joining me. If it's your first time, welcome. I relate fitness to faith, lifestyle videos with a little sprinkle of homeschool in there, and today is going to be a bit vulnerable of a video and giving you a little insight into my life. We're talking about anxiety and depression. So I've been hesitant to make this video for quite some time now, and I'm gonna try and not make it too long for you, but I think we need to shed some light on postpartum depression and then anxiety. So let me start from the beginning. When I got pregnant with Kyler, I knew nothing about postpartum, wasn't even on the radar, no one talked to me about it at all. When I had her, my emotions were all over the place. I remember a couple months after she was born and thinking, you are having wild thoughts, wild thoughts that are just not natural. They are not normal. And so when Kyler was 4.5 months old, I went and talked to my priest and I said, here's what I'm feeling. What is wrong with me? And I remember, God bless him, he said, are you sure you don't have postpartum? And the prideful 23-year-old looked at him and said, no. And in my head, I said, what is he talking about? Why would he even say that I have postpartum? How dare he? Because in my stupid mind, I had it in my head that postpartum was something gross and something to be ashamed of. And that was so wrong. So here's how I battled postpartum that I was in denial of when I was 23. Well, I went a whole new kind of crazy. During that time is when I started getting back into sports model and bikini competitions, and I lost a lot of weight and became super vain and was staring at myself all the time in the mirror. And so that's a distraction from postpartum, only to have negative bodily images of yourself come into play. So I traded out one crazy for another when I was 23. Those postpartum feelings eventually dissipated. And then we got pregnant with Corbin when I was 25 or 26. I can't remember. 25 or 26, I was pregnant with him. And when I had him, nothing happened. So I was like, oh, I didn't really have postpartum back then. It's fine, because I'm fine now, which I really was. I didn't have any irrational thoughts after Corbin was born. There weren't any weird things happening inside my mind. Then a little while later, let's see, I got pregnant with Corey then when I was 27 or 28. My years are all mixed up right now. When I had Corey though, I knew that I had postpartum. So there are huge differences between the baby blues and postpartum depression. The baby blues is you're sad for a short period of time. You may be a little irrational, but let's face it, your hormones are all kinds of whoppy. Your body is trying to get back to normal, whatever that means. And so with baby blues, again, just a short period of time, you may be a little weepy, but with postpartum depression, you have irrational thoughts. You may cry all the time. You may not be sleeping well. You may just want to run away and not know why. It is crippling. It grips you to your core and you feel like a lunatic. And for me, I just wanted to curl in a ball. But I tried fighting it. I hid it for several months, and so Corey was born May 24th, 2016. So I went through almost the whole summer. I guess it was July, and I looked at Cody and said, something is wrong with me. I am having irrational thoughts. I told him what they were, and he is so compassionate, and he said, all right, what do you need? And I said, I just told you, like, ridiculous things have come out of my mouth that I am thinking, and you're not mad at me? And he said, no. He said, I love you. He said, I know that this isn't you, so let's figure out a solution. He is like the solution finder. He's like, no, relax, calm down. So he's good for me. I got on Google and I found therapists near me. So I went to this woman, I told her what I was thinking, and she said, I've seen this before. I've had a lot of you coming in, and your problem is that you are going through a pre-midlife crisis, and you have daddy issues that we really need to work out. So I remember, like, I just tuned her out, and I started thinking, like, I didn't even mention my lady, where are you getting this from? And then she went down the road of, like, a pre-midlife crisis, and I thought, I am 28. Yeah, 28. I'm 28. You're crazy. Like, what is, or 29. No, I think I was 29. Whatever. Regardless. During this time, I made a list. I'm just going to read it. Here we go. I wanted to run away. My mind was racing. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't concentrate. And so then the flood happened. And did we lose everything? No, we didn't. But when you compound a person having postpartum depression, having irrational, illogical thoughts, though I knew it, that's good, you know, that I recognized that I had a problem, and then you see water coming up the bottom of your street and your husband says, you guys need to go now. And I took off to Texas with an 8-week-old, a 2-year-old, and actually almost 6-year-old. Kyler's birthday was a couple days after the flood, so she was just about to be 6. So 6, 2, and an 8-week-old. That sent me spiraling even more. Did I hide it? I think I hid it pretty well. So after the flood, I went back to that other counselor one more time, and she was only concerned about scheduling me for my next appointment. And I was like, you know what, Cody? Forget this. Forget this. She did give me a prescription for pills and stuff. Like, it wasn't Zoloft. It was something like Zoloft. So she gave me that. I had the prescription. I filled the prescription, but then set the bottle down, like on my counter. And Cody said, are you going to take it? And I said, no, I don't think so. I said, I don't want to put anything in my body. I said, we need to figure this out without medicating me. Because how we felt, I'm going to talk for both of us, how we felt was, how do I know that I'm getting better if I'm on medication? That was our logic. I know a lot of people are different. Some people said, like, I just needed to get over the hump. For me, I didn't know what that hump was because I felt crazy. So I remember one night, my escape was getting on social media, and I became, for some reason, enamored and obsessed with a singer and his wife. I'm not sure why. I don't know. But I would, like, escape to the house that we were living in had this walk-in closet, and I was able to, like, just go in the corner of the closet. When I started feeling very panicky, when I started just having these irrational thoughts, my escape was social media, and that is horrible. And I'll never forget Cody looking at me and saying, if you need to leave and go somewhere, he said, we'll do it. Whatever it takes, I need my teammate back. He said, and right now, we need to be a team. And I cried and said, I'm sorry because you're going through a lot. We had 11 properties flood. And so he was working a lot. Like he would leave at 6 o'clock in the morning or 6:30, and then he wouldn't get home until 11. I said, I am damaging us. I said, I'm so sorry. I said, I'm gonna fix this, I promise. I said, don't leave me. And he said, what are you talking about, leave you? He said, you're my wife, I love you. He said, whatever it takes, Odd, we're gonna get past this, and we are going to fix this. Sorry. I am so thankful. I'm so thankful for him. So God's funny. So it was like a day or two later, I get a random phone call from a former sorority sister, and she said, how you doing? And I said, I'm good. I'm great. No problem. No huss, no fuss. And the conversation went, and, you know, just like kibitzed back and forth. And she said, so how are you doing? And I said, and now I'm thinking like, oh no, I'm being attacked. I'm being attacked. She was not attacking me. Illogical, I know. And so she said, how are you really doing? And I said, I told you I'm great. I'm fine. And she said, would you cut already? And I was like, oh. She said, stop. You're not fine. You have postpartum depression. And so I like cried. I started crying, and I was like, how does she know? How does she know? Oh my God, she knows. And I haven't even talked to her. And she was like, you can't hide. She said, you're hiding. She said, I see these posts that you're putting up on Facebook. You're not fine. I can spot postpartum depression a mile away. Why am I crying? Shoot. So, oh crap. Okay. So we talked, and she said, what are you searching? This is totally God. She said, what are you searching for? She said, you know what you need, and you need God. Crap. Sorry. I said, I know. She said, you need to find a God-centered counselor, Audrey. That's what you need. And she said, if you need to take those pills, take them for a little bit. She said, but you need to find someone who's God-centered. So I did. I found Stephanie. She is well known, which I didn't know at the time. But Stephanie gave me the book, Resisting Happiness. She made me fill out a questionnaire before I met with her. It was detailed too. I put as much detail about things that I was thinking, I was feeling. And then the appointment time came, and she went, wow, like you wrote a lot. And I said, well, you asked me. I was so abrasive that first session because I did not have a good experience with that first counselor. And so I told her what I expected from the session. Little bold, and she just sat there. Here's the cool thing about her. I had to sign a waiver, I had to sign a paper saying that I was going to do homework with her, which was amazing because, you know, I don't need a buddy to go talk to. I have my husband for that. He is my best friend. I don't know why I'm pointing in that direction. My husband is my best friend. We talk about everything. We do everything together. He's awesome. He's my boo. I love him. I needed someone who could get inside my mind, who is trained to get inside people's minds. That's what I needed. And that's what Stephanie was for me. It took about 5 months for me to feel like myself again. Did I take the depression medication? I didn't. I actually ended up pouring it down the toilet, which was something that Stephanie, she's like, you can take it. She's like, but I'd really like for you not to. We can do this together, but I need you to trust me. And so we built, why am I gonna cry again? So we built that trust, and it was amazing. Like she's an amazing person. So part of my homework in the beginning was to read Resisting Happiness, and she would give me like sections to read, and then we'd discuss it. And the cool thing is that we'd be sitting in a session, and she had a whiteboard, and she'd be like writing on the whiteboard, like things that I would be saying, and then she put a line and be like, okay, here's our solution. Here's what you're gonna work on. I'm like, yes! Oh my goodness, it's like a fitness plan. This is like a mental plan. This is awesome. Oh my goodness, thank you. So after 5 months, back on track, Jack. And I've been going ever since. Okay, so January 2017 was when she looked at me, because our session, it was like, so how's the weather? And she was like, I don't think you need me anymore. And I was like, I don't know if I'm ready to take the training wheels off. And she said, if you still want to come, you can, but I don't really think you need me anymore. And so that was kind of tough, because like taking the training wheels off of that was a challenge for me. But I did it, and it was great. So then since January 2017, I've gone to see her twice just for touch-up sessions, because here's the thing about Corey is that I got over my postpartum depression and over like those like crazy cuckoo stuff, but I have anxiety. And so with anxiety is that if I start to feel overwhelmed, I start to have a panic attack where I just okay, so that's happened 2 or 3 times in the past couple of years. So not terrible at all. But I know how to combat it thanks to Stephanie and the tools that she has given me. So since June of last year, there have been some like horrible things that have happened. I say horrible, you know what, that's dramatic. There have been some bad, gross, icky stuff that's happened since June of last year. I'll say it that way. But through these tools that Stephanie has given me, taking a step back from myself and like, there's a solution to everything. There's a solution to everything. And so that, and learning when crap happens, you have to grow from it. And if you don't grow from it, then you're not going to be able to handle what happens in the future. We need to grow from bad experiences. We need to be able to grow from uncomfortable times. So I'm really thankful for my whole life, because it's made me who I am, whether you like it or not. I had mentioned like the anxiety and, you know, having a couple panic attacks. I wrote things down so that I don't forget, but here's how anxiety affects me is when I start getting worked up, I sweat, and that's kind of gross because I have night sweats. And so that means that like the bed is soaking wet. That sounds gross, but when my anxiety flares, I sweat at night and I end up sleeping on a towel. So if you're one of those, I'm there with you, because that's happened quite a bit in the past year with sweating in my sleep. So trying to control that anxiety there. Sleeping can sometimes be an issue for me. Hasn't been lately. But Cody and I never used to watch TV in bed before like on the weekends, yeah, like, you know, we'll get in bed and, you know, we'll watch a show in bed. But throughout the week lately we have, and it's been helping me to go to sleep. So I don't fall asleep like with the TV on, we'll like turn it off, because I know it's like not good for you mentally. But all right, so that is my postpartum depression story and a little bit on my anxiety that I deal with. But you know what, as a good friend said, you just gotta roll with it. So when you feel like your anxiety is flaring, embrace it. Then you have to use tools to get over it. All right, I'm gonna post some links below on anxiety and postpartum depression. If you know someone who has anxiety, who has depression, who specifically has postpartum depression, don't run from them. It's really important that, that they get their mental health in check. And if you think that you have postpartum, go get help. It's nothing to be embarrassed about. It's nothing to be ashamed about. It's there. It's real. Whether people want to think it or not, it's there. It's not talked about enough. It's not. All right, everybody. If I can pray for you, if I can pray for a friend in any way, please let me know. Thanks so much for hanging in there with me. Tap that subscribe button if you're not part of the Fit, Fearless, and Faithful family. And I will catch up with you next time. Take care, everybody. Bye.